What is going on, everybody? Already. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Bear with me 1 second. Let me make sure this YouTube thing's on. We're going to give Zoom one more shot this week. We'll see. If it irritates me, that's it. It's dead to me. So let me pull up. All right, there we go. All right, cool. How is everybody? Let me throw the chat up. What's up, man? How's everybody? Tuesday. It is. Last week, I'll tell you what. So I officially had the best February of my trading career. I finished higher than the 3 preceding Februarys, so I was pretty happy with that. I was stoked about it. I did not trade on Friday because I didn't want to lose any of that equity. So, but Wednesday and Thursday gave some fantastic moves. If you were on the call on Saturday that we did, I kind of shared the trade setups, at least to look at, the pairs to look at. So I'm going to continue to look for bearish or bullish dollar. Going to continue to look for some CAD strength as well. And let's dive into it, right? So starting off the week, we've got some important news, but something that's not listed on the news is still lingering. And this is something I'm going to be looking fundamentally for. But we have, and really none of this is really going to be important for me. The big thing that's going to be important for me is the Canadian rate statement, right? Whether or not they're going, you can see they're already pricing in a quarter point basis increase, right? So if you remember last week, the Kiwi bumped up 0.25% as well. They went up to a full percent, and Canadian dollar is already projected. They're pricing in 0.5% is going to be their interest rate. So we're starting to see post-COVID rates starting to increase. And, I keep asking, where's the US dollar? Where is the US dollar? Because we didn't have an FOMC last week. Nothing's here this week, but we do have the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, testifying before Congress on what the Federal Reserve's going forward marching orders are going to be, and pretty much what he's going to be attempting to implement to stave off this hyperinflation that we're seeing. Gas, I don't know where you guys are at. I was talking on my Zoom call this morning with my group. Went to the airport the other night, Sunday night, to pick up my daughter and wife from the airport, and yeah, $4.89 here by the airport. So I couldn't. It's getting out of control. Just to think that we hit the $1.99 mark down the street for me not too long ago. So crazy where these gas prices are going. And of course, everything else is following. So this is going to be very, very influential, I think, for the market, is the words that he's going to be using. And if you look at it, just make sure it's all going to be New York session. It's going to be 10 a.m. Eastern time, New York session, when he's testifying. And I think those are going to be the big things that are going to move the market. And then, of course, Thursday, we're going to see Bank of Canada's governor speaking. Pretty much, he's just going to be recapping what comes out of here, if there's anything. So with that, my goal this week, when I was doing my pre-op work, is I'm looking for that. Actually, here, let me do it like this in red. I'm looking for a bullish dollar, right? I've been talking about bullish dollar probably for the last month. And that's not changing, so I'm looking for GU, EU, AU, and NU sells, right? And then I'm going to be looking to take the US dollar, Swiss franc, UJ, and I'm really not a fan of UCAD, but it is giving some pretty damn good price action. So UCAD buys as well. That's where I'm looking to take it. So we'll see. Ultimately, we'll see what comes of this week. I am going to be eagerly waiting to see what happens. But let's dive into it. Let's get into the charts and see. Kind of go over rough overview of what I did last week, what my outlook for this week is going to be. So, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Righty. Yeah. And we'll get into some crypto too, because if you guys went to sleep on Friday and just woke up now, you'll you'll be very pleased to see that crypto has made an awakening. So BTC is slowly making its way. And like I spoke about last week, 46K is my mark, man. 46K is where I want to see, do we break? And, we're going to see what happens. So you're from Wales. Awesome, man. Awesome. All right. So let's get into it. Let's see. So first and foremost, OddCAD, right? OddCAD. Now I haven't given up on sells on OddCAD, right? Because my line in the sand is this, right? This is ultimately what's maintaining our leg, and we haven't given it up. Now we are in the 80% of this entire push, but I still have that limit order sitting right over there, right? That is going to be my extreme limit order. And more importantly, we're starting to see some signs of distribution, right? If you just look from an intraday perspective, we're in phase B of it. You know what I mean? Like we've got our climax, we've got our rally, we've got our test, and now we've got an up thrust. All right. So ideally, perfect scenario for me is I want to see this thing give me a sign that sellers come into the market. Give me the old UTAD. Give me the UTAD, whatever low gets printed here, I'll wait for that break, right? Ideally, if we do create a UTAD, I will be looking lower time frame for an entry here on my fourth drive. And then obviously my stacked entry is going to come in the form of the test. So perfect scenario, that's what I'm looking for to play out. Now we are dealing with an intraday time frame, so this ain't going to happen tonight. If you just look and kind of guesstimate how long we've been in this distribution, we're at 6 days. So we've got ideally, if you kind of just look at it from this, actually, I don't want to do ghost pattern. I want to do this one. If you just kind of look at, well, all right, so we want to see ideally something in the form of that play out, right? We're talking from, at minimum another 4 days. All right. So this isn't something I think is going to happen relatively quick. I think we're going to be sitting on our hands for it now. If it does come up into my distribution up here, game on, right? I will gladly take that all day long if she comes up here. But just the way it's looking like, I potentially see this like that playing out. So stupid Zoom, man. I hate how they've done this annotation thing on Zoom, but it is, you blew your account today. How the heck did you blow your account, man? Let me guess. No stop loss. Took a few L's and revenge. Oh yeah. Yeah. But still, I mean, even if you revenged it, what did you do? Like, I don't know, like 20 times your lot size on it. I mean, think about it. Even if you did a 1% risk, you got to lose 100 trades on that doom thing. So you didn't close in profits. All right. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. You got to learn from it. I mean, you're not the first person blown an account. I blew my first 3. So, but here, my suggestion is, before you're eager at throwing money away, maybe start building that risk management plan. So let me see. Let me delete this. Yeah. This is your 50th account. Maybe my main suggestion would be then maybe jump on a demo account, and when you properly trade that demo account and flip it a couple of times, then I'd say throw some real money on it. Yeah. So, alrighty, but ACAD, that's kind of what I'm waiting on. I still like the setup. I still like where we're trading from. And on the ACAD side, right, I'm really expecting Canadian dollar to really start to strengthen, which is going to give us that push to the downside. Especially you can do it on the demo easy. Yeah. Then what are you missing when you translate that to a live account? What's the difference? Sounds like maybe it's a emotional issue with profits and losses. Your girl left you. All right. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. He is. I got you, man. I got you. Sounds good. Oh, is he? Wonderful. How many reaccumulations do you trade, and what are their differences? How many reaccumulations do I trade? I mean, there's 4 different types of reaccumulation, but I mean, I would say it depends on the scenario. So all 4 are tradable. Yeah, all 4 are tradable. It depends on the scenario, and it depends on ideally the best reaccumulation or redistro is going to be the one that gives you the shakeout, gives you the definitive move. So can you show thrones you trade on the chart? What the heck are thrones? Here, I don't know. Yeah, I can't even, I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. All right. So anyway, yeah, King of Thrones or Game of Thrones, you mean? You got it. Yeah. You're missing. Yeah, you got it. All right. So ACAD, I'm looking for the short. NCAD, the same thing. We're right with it on NCAD. Now, NCAD, we're nowhere close to where our extreme is. Can you show the reaccumulation you trade on the chart? Yeah, if one comes up. Yeah, we will. Yeah, we're nowhere close to essentially our extreme, but now you can see there's a little bit of divergence. And this is what I kind of was paying attention to on NCAD, right? NCAD has not taken this high. So we're seeing divergence here. We have now broken order flow though, right? So for me, you can see I've got an alert sitting right up here because that's my expectation. My expectation is that we're going to trade higher into some more structure up here, and that's going to complete our distribution, right? Because technically, when we look at it from a distribution schematic, right, we've got trading range, right? You've got a climax to a rally, to a test, to an MSAL. And now what I want to see is the upthrust, right? Give me the upthrust. And then what we do afterwards here is where I'm going to be paying attention to it. So I've literally just boxed it out, and I'm going to wait to see what we do because I'm not doing anything in here until I see definitive cause for sellers really showing me that they're coming into the market. So can I analyze gold? Sure. Here's my analysis on gold. We're bullish, but we're nowhere close to where I want to buy it from. So yeah. How do you know your market cycle is complete? What is a complete market cycle? Yeah. Yeah. What's a complete market cycle? Do I always take it off the 50? No, I don't. Or the 80, between the 50 and the 80? Yeah. So, all right. Anyway, looking for sells ACAD and NCAD, right? Moving over to Chef JPY, right? Nothing has changed on my bias. I'm still bullish on this thing. So here's an example of a reaccumulation, right? So I was waiting for price to come in here, right? I was waiting for price to come in here. We came in just not low enough for me to get into a trade. But what we did do is we had a proper distribution, and we broke that high right here, giving us our reaccumulation. So out of that reaccumulation, so now I've got a point of interest that I'm going to play out of, right? So my reaccumulation, how am I playing it? Simple. I got 2 points of interest, right? I've got essentially our shakeout, which is the entire leg is my shakeout. I've got a reaccumulation here, and then we've got the break. So what I'm going to be waiting for is essentially for price to come into right here. That's what I'm waiting here. So if we trade down in here, I'll be looking for an accumulation to now take it up. My target is going to be a new high, and then obviously the highs up here, right? So Chef JPY, definitely looking for buys on it. There's a couple of JPY crosses I'm looking for buys. A couple of them I'm just not going to even touch. Just fundamentally, I'm not ready to really commit anything to it. But here's the thing I'm really paying attention to is this leg right here. So we have yet to break it, right? All we did was create equal highs. But I'm still in a bullish market. And the fact that we came here into an area where I would be looking for a buy over to the left, I'm still 100% ready to buy out of this reaccumulation. If we trade below this reaccumulation, ain't going to do it, right? Do I buy from the extremes or wait for a further confirmation? I buy from extremes of structure, right? I wait for schematics on order flow, which this is order flow. Yeah. So I do not want us to trade below here though. The only time I want us to trade below here is after we break this high. Because when we break this high, say we do that, this now becomes what maintains our order flow. This becomes our slingshot, this reaccumulation here. So ideally we could see potentially this happen here. We go higher only to come lower into the extreme before we go higher again, if that makes sense. Right. So on Chef JPY, it's going to be a matter of, first thing I need to see is this right here. Yeah. Yeah. Is it true you have no, I don't have a 600K funded account. Yeah. Yeah. So this is Chef JPY. This is what I'm waiting for on Chef JPY. Alrighty. It's 55 days. It's actually 90 days worth of price action if you look at it, right? It's what are we talking here? It is, let's go over here to the 1 hour, because it's kind of like mimicking what we've got going on with like UJ and stuff. So if you look at right from this low down here, because this is our leg, this is all just order flow. So what's our structure point? Our structure point is holding from here. So this entire range right here is sitting at 93 days. So yeah, it is. There's a lot going on here. So do I trade oil? No, don't trade oil. So I do trade silver. All right, bro. Alrighty, there she goes. Bye-bye. Okay, awesome. Anyway, sorry, I can't deal with that crap, man. I'm too old to deal with little boys and little girls. So yeah, all good. I had to figure out how to kick it. For the love, man. Anyway, so Chef JPY, yeah, Tim, like you said, man, you know, we've got a lot of price action here, but we're still stuck here, right? This is our structure point. So when we look at it from a structure point in a bullish market, what do we got to look for, right? We got to look for just presence of buyers coming into the market. So once you've gone through your pairs, I like to, what you're expecting fundamentally and how they're all, what am I expecting fundamentally? Bro, no clue, man. Crazy Vlad is throwing in a loophole into that thing, man. No, I honestly have no clue. Like I'm bullish dollar. That's it. So NU, yeah, NU is on there, man. We'll take a look at NU. Yeah. So are the pairs that, so I'm, yeah, that's why I'm only trading the dollar, because I can see fundamentally why the dollar is going to strengthen. And of course I could see like why oil is going to strengthen, right? So if oil's strengthening, I can see the Canadian dollar strengthening. That's kind of like where I'm gearing up towards. JPY crosses across the board. If you think about it fundamentally, JPY crosses should show a good directional bias. But when you kind of just isolate them and you look at, say, like GJ, or you look at like, you know, I'm trying to think another one that I was looking at, like CADJ as well, right? They're not in areas that I want to look for those buys yet. But you look at like NJ, AJ, UJ, you know, those Chef JPY, those are in the areas I'm looking for buys, and that's why I'll look for those buys. So I've kind of like narrowed down how I want to you know, attack that, and you know, just understand that the simplest, you know, all it takes, like, yeah, all it takes is like one violent act. So I mean, you get some shenanigans going on over in the Eastern block over there, and you'll see the markets just go all in, you know, just an entirety of whipsawing going on. So yeah, fundamentally, I'm going to stick with dollar crosses because I know the direction of it. You know, we know that we're mad bullish on it. So speaking of something I'm going to avoid, this stupid thing right here, Euro GBP. This is kind of like my outlook. I anticipate us spending the next couple of days just doing this right here. Nothing more, just chip chat. You know, it's. Yeah, we'll move that out of the way. Yeah, I mean, price came into a little Asian low right here, and we saw a little sign of strength, but then that's all we saw. We saw about, what is that, like a 20 point. About 20 pips is what we saw. I'm honestly not interested in doing anything with this. Potentially, you know, I see it, you know, if we come lower, if we come down into here and we see an accumulation, yeah, okay, I'll look for that buy. But unless we get something down there, or unless we actually break some kind of order flow, right? Because the only thing we've done is we're still bearish on the lower time frame, bearish on the intraday. All we've done is just broken some lower time frame order flow by doing this. You know, so I'm not really convinced yet Euro GBP is going to go bullish. And from a fundamental standpoint, the pound is bearish, right? Because if you're looking at GU, right, GU is bearish. So the pound is bearish. And if you're bullish dollar, right, then you have to automatically, no questions asked, have to be bearish euro. So what you're doing here is you are trying to fight two weak currencies right now, euro and the pound, and you're trying to buy one of them. So I honestly think we're just going to chop sideways. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Okay. So Euro GBP, I mean, that's it. Like I'm holding sells still. I haven't changed anything on it. Like I'm still holding the sells from up here. I'm still holding the buy from down there. Obviously, I've taken partials when we broke that high, and now it's just a matter of just sitting back and waiting. You know, nothing really I want to do with it. Euro USD, right? So when we talk about Euro USD, I mean, it can go. I just don't think it's going to go with any. I don't think it's going to be any kind of big movement. I think, you know, do I think we can see some bullish movement? Yes. At what cost? I mean, you might see it go 100 pips in the month, you know, and for me, at that point, it's just not worth it, right? So, all right. So going over to EU, you know, I talked about this like 2 weeks ago, where I was still bearish, even though we broke this, right? Just because dollar index was just still showing the strength, and dollar index, we had that major divergence. But now that we got the boof, right? And like I said last week, this was going to be the ultimate buyer's trap. I thought a lot of people would get stuck trying to buy out of here. And yeah, it made good. So now I know that this is going to be our leg, right? This is our order flow leg. And if we come up into this redistribution here, I'll be looking for a distro. And of course, I'm still holding out hope that we come up into this stupid thing, this distribution, this UTAD. This was a news candle, and it still needs to be mitigated. So I'm still waiting on that. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a sec. How did you know it was a buyer's trap? Because what do you think? So like when you looked at this chart, and we broke, where is it? Let's go back 1 hour. And we broke this 1 hour. right? Where's everybody and their mom buying from, right? They're buying from the area that supposedly caused this break, but this break was nothing, right? This break was order flow, right? This break didn't hold structure, right? It's a redistribution, right? Can redistributions, can continuation moves hold structure? No. So we're still bearish. And I felt very strongly like this was purposeful, right? Especially if you fail to look at dollar index and use it as a comparable divergence or comparable strength to see what if there was a presence of divergence, that you were going to get stuck right here. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I was pretty much last week and the week before, I was pretty big on it. Yeah, Angel's in now. Over the past week with the war, do you see the market behavior different? So I wouldn't say just because of the war. I mean, truthfully, and I think I had this conversation with a couple of people. I would say like the last year, schematics just aren't as clean, right? They're not as you know, when I look at 2021 as opposed to 2020, you know, you were seeing schematics that were very meticulous, very easily distinguishable, right? And now you're just seeing a lot of sloppiness, and I think it has a lot to do with the volume of you know, like everyone gets into Forex, and what's the first thing they tell you? Oh, $5.3 trillion traded daily and all this crap, right? I'm actually curious to see what the actual volume being traded is. Because I don't think it's high. I think we're lower than we were the previous year. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's, you know, and really the only way to know that is, you know, I'd have to wait for like the quarterly reports and stuff, and that's just a lot of, I talk that I'd love to know, but I'd really love somebody to show me, just tabulate it and show it to me. And then I'd say, okay, yeah, I take your word for it, than me actually doing the work to do it. But I think from a schematic standpoint, I think that's how I see it. The Ruby tanked. Yeah, of course it tanked. Of course it tanked. Why wouldn't it tank? You know, well, I guess it depends on what it tanked against, right? Against the dollar, sure, it tanked. You know, against, you know, I don't know, some of these other, you know, against the North Korean, whatever the heck, maybe not so much, right? Maybe not a lot of movement. So yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm all caught up. Good. So yeah, on EU, I'm most definitely still very bearish on this. And I'll be looking for us to come back into here. You know, if we can come back into these two areas, that's where I'll be looking to play back into. You know, and it's just going to be a matter of if I can find it. GU is the next one, right? I'm definitely bearish still on GU. I'm still holding some very nice sells on this. So, and you can just see, I mean, ever since we made the turn and broke this low, right in here after this, I've just been selling the crap out of this thing. You know, it's 100% without a doubt. I'm targeting, and when I mean I'm targeting, I am targeting this right here. I'm coming for with GU. I'm coming for the like 1118 175 area down here. That's where I want to take this down to. So I'm still holding a bunch of these sells. I've been holding sells from like September on this. But I've just been adding in, you know, we caught this sell up in here. You know, it's currently, what's it sitting at now? Sitting around 1 to 62. You know, and ideally my next partial out area is going to be this low down here for a 1 to 85. And the sell that we caught, I think it was Wednesday. Where's my replay tool? The sell we caught Wednesday out of here is sitting, well, you don't want to know about this one. We covered this one. I am not in. This one I should have been in. This one eats me up at night. And this one here is sitting at a 1 to 458. If anybody is counting, if anyone, I know a couple of people said they got into it. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Yeah, that one still hurts. And then the one that we caught on Wednesday right in here was just really nice. And I'm looking for price to come back into it. So this one here, I took partials on Friday, sitting at a 1 to 39. And I think it's like at a 1 to 44 right now. So what I do want to see though, is I want to see price walk itself back up into this area right here. If we can get that, great. Now, if we don't, and you can already kind of see like what's going on here, I'm hoping this is an accumulation that gets us up there. If we don't get up into this area where I'm specifically looking, I'm going to play the redistribution, right? And how that redistribution would play out to be something like this, right? So like say we get something like this, right? And then we break, right? On that break through the ice and then a break of structure, I know that there's going to be a distribution here. That's where my play is, right? We come back up into that distribution and mitigate. That's where I'll play. All right. Does that make sense? Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. One second. Okay, cool. Yeah, you got it. All right, hold on. Yeah, I'll let you in. There you go. I accepted it. Okay. Yeah, are you still testing your London scalps? Well, I've kind of incorporated it into my trading. I'm not scalping it, but I've incorporated it into the trading. So, why wouldn't you be, why wouldn't I be a limit order on what? Why wouldn't that be, what limit order of what? On GU? Where though? What would be the limit order? Yeah, there's no limit order because I'm not in structure. The distro to work out. All right, so here's GU, right? What's maintaining structure? This? Because it's not, right? Yeah, it's not, right? Because think about it. Look where we are to the left. We're not in structure. All this is order flow, right? That's all that is. So until we break here, we don't make new structure. And then this becomes our new structure point. So there's no limit for me to set out of here. Yeah. There's no limit. It's all order flow. So I've got to wait for the schematic. Bear with me. I think one of my girls are coming home and the zoo is going crazy about it. So yeah, and truthfully, right? I mean, we could come all the way up into here, so it's just a matter. It's a matter of, I just want us to come back into this area right here. We come up here, then golden, right? So, all right. So that's GU. So bearish GU, bearish EU. We talked about NZD CAD. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Let me yell at these dogs. Okay, sounds good. So yeah, we got GU. We talked about NCAD. All right, US dollar, Swiss franc. All right. So US dollar, Swiss franc. Let me tell you the story of US dollar, Swiss franc. So I'm still holding buys on US dollar, Swiss franc, right? And when we look at it from just looking at this picture right here, what's up, man? Just looking at this picture right here, you should see we are bullish, right? We are extremely, extremely bullish. And when you ask yourself the question, who is in control of USD Swiss franc? The answer should not be sellers, right? Because we are buy. All right. When we see, right? When we see, and like, just look at it, right? So we know that we came into this and we made a new high. So we know that this is maintaining, right? And then with that being maintained, we know, right? We know that price came into our extreme right in here. And once we made that extreme, what did it do? It broke order flow. So now we have to understand that this is our order flow. So this leg represents bullish order flow within a bullish structure leg. All right, if that makes sense. All right. So out of that bullish structure leg, when we look at, if we're just sitting here, right? If we're just sitting here, where do we want to buy out of? Well, ideally, I'm going to be buying out of this reaccumulation, right? Of course, yeah, there's something in that extreme, but the first area I want to look is this move right here, right? This move needs to get mitigated. So when price comes back down into that area right in here, this is where we have to start paying attention to what US dollar Swiss franc is doing, right? This is the buy area that I want to look for. When we come down to a 5-minute and we look at this area, right, let's follow along what it's done. All right. So again, this is the box that I wanted us to come into. And if we follow what price has done, we can see that we had, and let me go replay mode. That way it's not all crazy. All right. So we can see that we have ultimately just a long drawn out redistribution up here, right? Here's our redistribution. Right. So we have a redistribution, which means that this redistribution is maintaining the lowest form of order flow in this leg, right? One second, guys. All right, sorry. Okay, so we know that this is maintaining the lowest form of bearish order flow, right? Order flow has so many, it's like an onion, right? It has so many damn layers. This is why I hate order flow, but it's good to know where those layers are, because in a bullish market, all I need to see is what? I just need to see evidence of buyers coming into the market. So first and foremost, we can see that we had just a super clean accumulation of orders right here. Here's your type 1, right? And then we had a distribution, right? Here's your distribution, right? Perfect, clean distribution, right? Climax, test, up thrust, UTAD. And then what do? We break structure. Am I looking to sell out of this damn thing? Heck no, right? Because all I'm doing is buying right there, buying out of the 80% of our accumulation, and then off to the races we go. When you want to know, how do I know that buyers came into the market from my schematic? Well, there's your answer right there, right? There's a reason that we have, or at least that I have, certain boxes marked out for certain time frames, right? That's one of them. So, hey, what's up, bud? How's it going, man? My nephew's on again. Yeah. So we understand that this reaccumulation is the key. So now let's fast forward, right? Let's get fast forward up here. And the key for me is seeing, where do we break? All right. So I know I've shown this tool before to people, right? Do we break structure? Do we invalidate supply is the question, right? And for me, we do, right? Because the last order that gets filled is right there. Do we trade above this arrow? Yes, we do, by a smidge, right? So by trading above that and invalidating our supply point, that's the go ahead for me to start just jumping into some more buys, right? So when I'm looking for these buys to present themselves on US dollar Swiss franc, what's my next area, right? So looking at this, we know price came into this area up here, right? We know that we are looking for price to come back into our demand area and ultimately make a new high. All right. So the fact that we did not trade above here doesn't give me a reason not to look for more buys, right? In a bullish market, what's the most important? The highs or the lows? It should be the lows, right? Because the lows are what maintain the structure, not the highs, right? Does everyone understand that? In a bullish market, the lows are important, not the highs. So not making a new high to me has no relevance, right? It's the fact that we do not invalidate the lows. More importantly, what do we have, right? We have a distribution. Okay, sounds great. So it looks like it mitigated something out of that distro, right? Did that distro then create a break of structure? No, it didn't, right? Instead, what we did do was this morning during New York session, right? We came in and we can see a super clean distribution. All right. So what we have here is just a super clean market cycle, right? We could see the accumulation, right? We could see a reaccumulation, and we could see that price ends up making a new high, right? Here's your schematic, right? Everyone can see that we have 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive, spring, right? So we have a clean schematic here. And now going forward, like, what did I want to see? I wanted to see price come back into this area so that I can potentially look for another buy, right? And that's what I'm looking for. I want to see, can we come back, and how are we going to do it? So the way I get into this trade, this easily could have been our mitigation, right? Without a doubt, this could have been our mitigation this morning. Okay. So now you can see I've got an alert up here and I've got an alert here. So one of two things gets me into this trade. We come back down and accumulate right here, or we make a new high. Ideally, what I want to see is I want to see a clean distribution, right? Because if I see a clean distribution, then what I can do is I can play a reaccumulation out of it. There's nothing here that I want to play, right? Absolutely nothing that I want to play. So we'll ultimately see in the next, like I'd say 12 hours, how US dollar Swiss franc is going to be played out. But in a perfect scenario, what I want to see is this, right? We can see that we have a distribution. Oh, look at old UJ. So there we go. So we can see we have a distribution here, right? We can see how we have a creek. All right. What I would do is, if we do make that high, right, this is going to be my, as it stood right now, this would be my point of interest, and I would look for an accumulation in there. I really don't think that's going to stand, though. I think, we're going to get some kind of manipulation. Ideally, maybe we get like a Frankfurt, something around like that. Then London breaks it. Now I'll be playing out of that Frankfurt price action. Okay. So that's kind of what I'll be looking for on US dollar Swiss franc, but price action is pretty clean, right? I'll continue with dollar crosses, right? UJ, because the alert went off. So UJ, let me tell you the story of UJ. We have, let's see. Why is Frankfurt important? So that would be an answer I think you'll just have to answer for yourself, right? I mean, I can tell you till the cows come home that Frankfurt for me is very important. It's the hour right before London market open. And for the most part, it's just something that I've back tested, that price action is very, very important in the market. So UJ, right? Let's talk about UJ. So when we talk about UJ, we have to understand that we are in a bullish market as well, right? We're bullish. I mean, we're bullish, I think, since 2021, right? I've been starting to look for buys on UJ ever since down here. And, I mean, yeah, that's over 1,000 pips. That's crazy. Yeah, it still bothers me, some of these trades that we missed, man. Damn. Yeah, it's still, what was this one? I think there was one in here. I still haven't marked. Yeah, look at this one. Oh, this one still, these still kill me, man. This one here. Look at this one here. Oh man, this one still hurts. This one still hurts. This was February 2021. Yeah, I was looking for that one right there. Oh, well, it is what it is. Nothing you can do about it. So anyway, it's always good to reminisce. All right. So we know we're bullish, right? But now we also know that we're in this leg right here, right? Because of this break, this is our leg. This is all that matters. So when we look at that, what's our point of interest, right? Our point of interest is going to be accumulation and the reaccumulation that caused the break, right? So point of interest number one, point of interest number two, right? That's ideally what I'm looking for. It's up to you. You can do it. It doesn't matter how you set up the indicator. So like if you're using sessions on the chart, let me just see how I had mine set up. So on my sessions on the chart, right, I'm using all three, right? I don't care about Sydney, but all you have to do is when you click on it, you just come over here and you just change your times. So if you wanted to, if you wanted to make, and here, I'll show you like on mine, what I did was I made Asian session normally from 8 p.m. Eastern till 2 a.m. Eastern. And then I made, here, I'll show you, look on this indicator. I made a London session from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. because I don't care. I know where London session is, right? I know London session starts the block or when I have my tool on, right? Hold on, let's see. Maybe it's not going to put up. Where is it? There we go. So I know, right? I know that the yellow is my Asian session. And I know the gray is where Frankfurt starts. Well, I know where Frankfurt ends is where London starts. So that's all I care about. Right. And then the blue is just a New York session where I like to catch some trades, and it's not the entire New York session. So, yeah. I just care. For me, it's that 1 hour, that Frankfurt hour that I want to see. All right. Okay. So we know we're in our bullish leg, and then just looking at this, right, we know that price comes in and gives us an accumulation in our slingshot, makes a high, comes in, accumulates in that prior area of demand, and then breaks order flow, right? Okay. So now we're within order flow of order flow, right? No, I personally don't trade indices during London. Yeah, I don't trade indices during London. I honestly don't wake up during London. I just want to see the price action because that's ultimately, I typically will play mitigations out of Frankfurt. That's why. Yeah. First hour of you mean the 9:30 Eastern? You mean New York? Yeah. Yep. I want to, my blue box is New York open. So New York equities open. So if that's the first hour of London open is what matters. It's the first hour before, it's the hour before London open. London markets open at 3 a.m. Eastern. Frankfurt comes in an hour earlier at 2 a.m. Eastern. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So what we see here, right? We see that this accumulation ends up breaking this high. So now we know that buyers are in control from here within order flow, right? Within order flow. So now what I'm going to be looking for is, all right, so what do we get? What do we see, right? Do we make a new high? No, we don't make a new high, but I know that buyers are present here. And then I know that we essentially have done this in our order flow. So I know that order flow is being maintained from here. So if order flow is being maintained there, where the heck is my marking? Hold on. There we go. So if I know that order flow is being maintained from here, come on. I know you got it. There we go. If I know order flow is being maintained from here, I want to see, do we get a schematic somewhere of relevance in there? And if I put my fib up, do we not, hold on. Do we not come into an area that I like to look for buys? Absolutely, right? We came into the 80%. That's an area I like to look for buys, right? So now when price does this, gives us an accumulation, right? 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive, and then creates the boof. Now I want to see, okay, this is what we want to mitigate out of, right? This is where we want to mitigate out of. And okay, so now let me start figuring out, how do I want to work a trade in? Well, if we come back and we look, for those that don't have seconds time frame, if you come back and look on the 1 minute, this is what you're going to see, right? You're going to see, oh, look at that. You're going to see the gray box, right? The gray box is there. And why is the gray box important? Because it takes out Asian lows. And if you can't see it, this is on the 1 minute. If you can't see your type 1 schematic, I'll show you on the seconds time frame, but this is what it looks like on the 1 minute. All right. So now I go 5 seconds and there's your type 1. Right? There's your type 1. STB spring. So I measured this entire push. That's 50% of it. All righty. Oh, hold on, guys. Give me 1 sec. Alrighty. Sorry, we're back. Had a little hot. Yeah. No. I got it. Had a little hot tub emergency. I didn't want them to burn up my my pump out there. Okay. So anyway, on UJ, right? Here's your spring, right? So this is what I'm looking to play out of over here. And let's go back up to a more reasonable time, right? So if we come down there, great. If we don't come down there, what I'm going to be looking for is this, right? Where's 50% of this push? Right here. What's going on in that 50%? Well, that's what we're seeing right now, right? Do we have a schematic? Absolutely, right? I think I got it on the 1 minute. There you go, right? Do we have a schematic? 100%, right? We have a spring, right? That spring now, have we broken and come back to mitigate? No, we haven't, right? So right now, as it stands, right? Because this is our low. This was the previous low. This is what structure within the schematic was, right? And now if we come back, this being a reaccumulation, this is the slingshot that causes the break. This is my extreme, right? So if we get a schematic here, I'll be looking for a buy during London, right? Or if we come back down into this right here, I'll be looking for an entry out of there, right? So that's how I'm going to look to play UJ. I'm going to continue to look for those buys. Yeah, does that make sense? What is my boof? What do you mean? What's my boof? What is a boof, or like why is that my boof? Yeah. No. Yeah. So there's no limit orders. I mean, I guess it all depends, right? Like, can I put a limit order on this? I mean, I'll tell you this. If we break this Asian high tonight before I go to bed, so if we break this before I go to bed, right here, I gotta look to see if it's worth it, right? Because if we come down, let's just see, without looking for the most voluminous candle, right? I'd be looking somewhere in the neighborhood. Yeah, so it'd be worth it because that'd be like a 4.5 pip stop loss. You know, this would be something I'd be looking to play, something like this with the limit order. Right. So, and it'll give me my 1 to 10 that I want to see at my first partial out area, which would be up here. I mean, you're already at a 1 to 21. So yeah, I mean, what is the session indicator that you were using? I actually never seen it before, to be honest. So I use two. It's either sessions on chart, or this is the one that it's Asian session range. There's one in there that I created. I don't know, like TradingView was acting stupid. Like I created one through Pine Editor just with all the information that I wanted. And when I submitted it to be put into the indicator list, they gave me some issues saying that my account wasn't approved for that. But then maybe like a month and 2 later, I saw it in there. So, but those are the two that I use: sessions on chart or Asian session range. And then on Asian session range, I just have, I have all of the, you can change your London start times and all that, and your New York times and whatnot. So, yeah, there you go. So that's ideally what I'm waiting for. I do like, I'm definitely bullish on UJ. I like the buys on it. Again, any buy that I'm taking, I'm looking to partial out when we get up here, right? When we get to those highs, that's going to be where I'm going to be partially out. And then I'm also going to be looking to take this. Where's the daily? I'm going to be looking to take this up into, this is my next high right up here, like the one right around the 120 level, right? So we're about 500 pip move. And then I want to see what we're going to do in this distribution. I don't really know if this is going to be a catalyst for us to sell off, right? Because the distribution really didn't do anything. But I mean, this thing, we've been bullish. Realistically, we've been bullish now for almost 1,300 pips from the start of 2021. So this is going to be this high right here is going to be my main objective to get these buys, which is still a pretty nice little pinch. Yeah. So that's ultimately what I'm looking at. All right. And, hopefully we can see Frankfurt, London bring us back down, and then a New York accumulation. That'd be great. Because I really don't have plans to wake up early tomorrow morning. Thursday, Friday, okay, but not tomorrow morning. All right. So that is UJ. The other US dollar crosses I was looking at, right? AU and NU. Same thing, right? I'm bearish on this. I want to see us trade lower. But you can see like here's our lower time frame extreme sitting right up here. And we've been dancing around a lot in this area. Now on a higher time frame, right? We have, we gapped down over the weekend and we never took this low by this, right? So all we did was just come right into the extreme and we made ultimately a new high out of it, right? We made a new high out of it. So order flow is still bullish. So until I start to see evidence of sellers coming into this market, I'm not ready to pull the trigger. And you can kind of see, this is what I was looking at this morning, right? So we have a little bit of divergence between AU and NU, right? On AU, it was, yeah. Don't get me started. Yeah. I mean, well, it was perfect, but not perfect enough because it would have missed the limit order by 0.6 pipettes. So 6 pipettes it would have missed by, but we're in the right area, right? We're in the general area. And now, right, we have a trading range, right? We have a UTAD and we have a confirmed break. So now for me, you can see I've got an alert up here because we get up into this price action here. This is where I'm going to be waiting for that distribution for me to shoot this down, right? I want to short both of them. And you can see we've got AU making a higher high, right? However, NU made a lower low, right? So same price action. We've got divergence, which is telling me, what NZD is the leader, AU is the laggard, right? So we're seeing that divergence, and same thing, right? We've got NU, super clean schematic. We've got price in that London price action that gave a distribution up here. So this is where I'm going to be looking, right? I'm going to be looking tonight or tomorrow in New York for us to trade up into this area. And this is where I'm going to be shorting it, right? I'm going to look for the short out of here, both on AU and NU. And we'll see, this being the sign of weakness that I wanted to get. All right. And then to round out our dollar crosses is UCAD. So I'll be honest, I wasn't too big of a fan this morning, but I know a couple of guys did take this. And, again, what are we looking at, right? We're in a massive reaccumulation, right? We've been in this reaccumulation for over a month. And when we broke this high, because this high is ultimately the high that was controlling everything. When we broke it here, that meant that this is what was maintaining our order flow. So when you measure out the shakeout from this reaccumulation, we come right into that 80%. So, okay, we're starting to see some evidence of why I need to look for a buy, right? Now, the reason I was shying away from this is because I did not want to fight the Canadian dollar, right? I'm expecting with oil going bullish, I'm expecting, a bullish Canadian dollar. And if I'm expecting a bullish Canadian dollar, I do not want to try to buy UCAD, but it's the opposite of Euro GBP, right? US dollar is bullish. Canadian dollar is bullish, right? UCAD is the inverse correlation of CADJ, right? And Canadian futures, right? Canadian futures or Canadian dollar, the CXY, is the inverse of UCAD, if that makes sense, right? Hopefully all of that makes sense. So you can realistically, look and use for divergence purposes, you can use UCAD, CJ, 6CJ1 for Canadian futures, the CXY, right? You can use all of those against each other because they're all benchmarks against each other, and the one that's showing which is the leader, which is the laggard, may give you the edge to see how you're going to trade these. All right. What you got, Lewis, bro? Did you catch it or no? Did you take it? Oh, this is what you're seeing now because it gave an entry. No, it gave an entry, man. I know a couple of people grabbed it. So we come back. Yeah. But you did take it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't take it either. I'll be honest, I didn't take it. So, right, when we're looking, we took out Asian highs right here, right, this morning. This was the key, right? Well, what the heck happened down here? Well, let's just go 5-second, right? And there's your accumulation. You should be able to see it pretty cleanly. So if I was going to mark it out, right, there's my trading range. So there's my climax to my rally, to my test, right? Actually, you can even say this is your test too, but test to an up thrust action, to another test, to another up thrust action, to another test. And then what do? We sweep it. So here's your spring, meaning this is my STB. This was the break, right? So we have a perfect type 1, this being your spring. So if you measure this entire thing, this is 50% of it. Wouldn't you know that that's where we come to this morning during New York, right? So here's your 50% of the spring right there. So I don't even know what this would have been. What was it? I know it looks huge. Trust me, I know it looks huge, but that was a 1.1 pip stop. So 1.1 pip stop. And yeah, you'd be sitting at like a, I don't know, 1 to 80 something. What is that? 1 to 95, 1 to 85. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So it gave a really nice entry. I know Peter sent me a screenshot of his MT5 with a big old buy limit not getting filled. So I know he was hot about that, but yeah. When you checked it, it was gone. Yeah, dude, that came in right at like equities open too, man. That was like 15 minutes after equities open. So yeah, it is what it is, but the price action was clean. Price action was clean. So now, right. So let's focus, right? You're on a 1 minute chart and you got to be able to see, not only do you need to be able to see that, but you need to be able to see this entire schematic, right? Because now we know that we have a climax to a rally, to a test, to a test, to a test. And then we get what? Sign of strength. So we know that this is our STB. So what we're looking for is an LPS entry, right? We're looking for an LPS entry. And ideally what I want to see is we know that this is a reaccumulation. We know that this is the cause of the break. We know that we had another accumulation down here. So if I measure this entire move, this is 50%, this is 80%. This is where I want to look for my next buy, right? So ultimately, I want us to come back if we can, right? If we don't come back, right, there's two ways I get into this trade, right? Way one is we come back into the area I want to buy from. Way two is what do we got here? We got a distro, right? So if we do something like this, and then we break, confirming what? Jump of the creek and a break of structure, whatever that shakeout is where I'm looking for mitigation right here to go higher. So we're in a bullish market. I don't need us to come back to extremes. I can play the continuation move. All right. Does that make sense? What sort of spread would be seen at equities open to assure you aren't stopped out? Well, on the buy, you don't have to worry about it. That's the issue. It's not being stopped out. It's getting filled. Right. And that's what happens, at equities open, when the oil market's open, you're going to see things like UCAD, CAD-J, NZD CAD, right? ACAD, anything with the Canadian dollar, spread's going to widen just a little. I think like if you're trading TPT, I can tell you that UCAD during equities open goes anywhere, because currently, like you'll see it during New York session, you'll see UCAD anywhere between like 6 pipettes to like 9, maybe a full pip, right? During equities open, you'll see it maybe go up to like 1.2. On FTMO, right? You'll see UCAD typically sitting between 0.4 and like 0.8 pipettes, right? And then you'll see that bounce up to like 1.0 spread during equities open. So what are the structure points on UCAD? So this is my maintaining intraday is going to be right here, right now. Yeah, that's maintaining intraday. Higher time frame, we're bearish. And then lower time frame is going to be Lower time frame is going to be this right there. That's my lower time frame. Yeah. Okay, cool. We're good. So that's all of my dollar crosses, right? And then the other thing I'm looking at like NJ and AJ buys as well to kind of go with my UJ buys. And man, so we back tested NJ Thursday night on my training session, and I'll tell you this. You may want to take a look while the data is there. You may want to take a look and see what the heck you missed, because I missed it too. And the whole reason why I wanted to back test NJ is because I could see that I missed something, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss it again. So, we're reaccumulation all day long, right? I mean, this creek, right? Shakeout, high. We know that this is the SC. We know that this is the extreme. We know that this is our leg, right? So coming out of that leg, when price, and I don't know if you could see this, but that right there comes into 80%, right, of that shakeout. So when price came into that 80%, it was a matter of just following the buyers, right? Follow the buyers. The buyers are going to tell you where this market's going. So we trade into 80%. Oh, hold on. Oh, my wheel got away from me. Hold on. There we go. So we come into 80%, we give an accumulation, right? And out of that accumulation, what are we looking for? We're looking for continuation plays. So, if you follow along, right, we know that this, right, this is the break, right? So this is our entire leg. And then we come down, we come back into demand, and then we make a new high. So we know that we're being respected from here. This reaccumulation is what? The slingshot of order flow that created that. So in a bullish market, can we play out of something like that? Yeah, but what do we got to wait for? We got to wait for price to give us the entry. So measuring out that shakeout 1580, this is the box that I'm looking for the buy, right? This is the box. So in our box, right, we are, where's replay? There we go. In our box, let's go 1 minute. All right. So everybody that sees it on the 1 minute, here it is. Here's your schematic, right? Here is your schematic. So there's a couple of things in play. You have a larger schematic, and then you have in your fourth drive, right? You have a micro schematic, right here with a spring. So just looking off that, if you had nothing else, you just had your 1 minute. When you break that in your fourth drive, you could have potentially have looked for an entry off the 80%, right? Something along that line. Okay. And yeah, you could have taken that, right? The way I was looking at it, I think when we back tested it live, what do we see? We saw a two pip stop, right? 2 pip stop. But then when you start to see evidence of buyers coming into the market and you start getting down on the lower time frame, this is where the R to R comes in. So you can see here's your lower time frame, right? Lower time frame type 1, but here's where you make your money. This is sitting inside the test of your spring, right? And you don't get a cleaner schematic than this, right? This right here is the ultimate clean schematic. And I know this stop loss looks massive, but if you took it off the 50%, which is what I did in the back test, this was a 1.6 pip stop. If I took it, and you could see to where price went, it was a 1 to 366. If you took it off the 80%, it was a 0.9 pip stop, and you were over a 1 to 650 in less than 24 hours. All right. So this was just super clean, super clean. And it was in the heart of New York session, right? This is the heart of New York session. It's right before lunchtime. Again, what's the evidence that buyers came into the market? Yeah, you're looking at it. Look at this right here. That right there is buys came in. So this was something that, we did on the back test. I really liked it. I enjoyed, following it along. It made me tear up a little bit because I missed the damn move, but it is what it is. You live and learn, and you got to make sure you stay with it. So like, what do I do from here? So what gets me in this market? I know right? We know that we're here, right? So I got an alert up here because if we take that high, then I know that this becomes structure and I can place something out of that extreme that I've already got marked out. If we don't take that high, do I not just, say to myself, well, all right, let me just wait for the high? Or no, I mean, if we come back and show evidence, right? So immediately I'm looking, do we take out these Asian lows? That gets me into this market. We take out those Asian lows and we come anywhere here and accumulate, and we get an accumulation on a 5-second time frame like you saw there. Yes, MT5 will be open. MT5 will be, orders will be put into MT5 on my accounts, right? If we, if we reaccumulate, and you can already see it right here, right? If we do something like this and we pop the low or give any kind of shakeout, right? If we give any kind of shakeout and we ultimately do something like that, jump the creek, new high, but we don't do anything up here, I'm still going to play out of here, right? I'm just going to wait for the schematic. So NJ for me, massive buys I'm looking for. I'm very, I'm very bullish on these. I'm looking to take these, when you look at it from a little higher time frame, we've got room to go, right? I mean, we're ultimately where we're sitting at right now. We've got about 475 pips to get up to this new high. So I'm looking to take this up. Yes, it needs to go into demand. Yeah. Because if you think about it, right, if you think about what is a shakeout, right, that shakeout is intended to do one thing. So like if we have our distribution here, hold on, right? If we have our distribution here, we're in a distro, okay? What is that? What makes it the shakeout? Well, what makes it the shakeout is the presence of buyers coming into the market and then doing what? Jumping the creek and breaking the high, right? So if this does not come into an area of demand over here, what's the reason that buyers come into the market here, right? They're not gonna just arbitrarily say buy my market here, right? They need to have a reason, whether or not it is to mitigate out of a previous reaccumulation or accumulation, right? Or they are essentially they are filling continuation orders from this previous area of demand. It has to come into demand, right? Now, it doesn't mean that if this is on the 5-minute time frame that you have to come into a 5-minute area of demand. No, it doesn't, right? The same reason, and this is why I don't get stuck on, with tunnel vision on one time frame. The same reason where, okay, why did we come here? Well, we came here because they mitigated out of this push. Okay, so what if it fills an imbalance? Is it still considered a shakeout? I mean, that's going to be up to you. For me, what does an imbalance do? What is the, yeah, I mean, I guess what is the significance of an imbalance when it comes to a schematic? What do you mean a slingshot? Well, it's just confluence for entry. But if that reaccumulation, right? If that reaccumulation solely comes into just imbalance and nothing else, what is the significance of imbalance? And that's the answer you got to ask yourself. When you think about and you really break down what is a market imbalance, what is it? A market imbalance is just a gap in orders, right? So when you think about buys, right? Think of yourself. If you're getting into a buy on NJ, right? What is the reason that you want price, or what is the reason that you are going to initiate a buy order, say here, right? Is it to fill in balance, or is it to mitigate your previous drawdown position? For me, it's to mitigate my previous drawdown position. I could care less about imbalance, as far as I'm concerned. Listen, I mean, and you can see that the market unless there's demand in their market doesn't care. Look at this. Look at the imbalance we have here. You know, we've had this imbalance now for 2 years. They're not coming back for it, right? They're only, think about it. The only reason that market comes back is to mitigate and fill more orders, right? So if there's an imbalance within my demand area, yeah, that's 2 check marks as opposed to 1. But for me, I don't trade SOL imbalances, right? For me, there's not a high degree of probability that that's going to be a successful trade. Now, again, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. So if it's profitable for you, then do it. If that's what your journal tells you, absolutely. I'm not here to say don't do that. I just, for me, the way I think about it, yeah, I'm not gonna put an order in just off of imbalance. So FXCM, you lost me at the FXCM part, bro. Shows a wick into that area on the 15-minute for NJ. Yeah, you lost me on it. So yeah, that's a market gap. So put a volume profile here. We'll do it real quick so you can see. Put a volume profile on that. And this is why I hate FXCM. This is why I think, so see this wick right here? So let's look at the volume on it, right? So there's no orders here. Yeah, there's no orders here. So what happened was market closed, market opened, but this was a gap. And the gap in this case is associated to the spread on FXCM server. Because if you look at, it's a ghost feed, that's all it is. And they should really do the due diligence and go into the API data and take this out of TradingView. Because if you look at any other feed, right, let's just say, so we saw Awanda's, right? Let's go to like forex.com, right? So on forex.com, you can see, look at the same BS, right? But it only comes on forex.com, comes to 76.91. 76.91 on FXCM, it comes to 76.25, 72. So almost 20 pips lower. Let's go to Pepperstone. Pepperstone comes down here to like 93. Yeah, there's just no, it's all just ghost feeds. It's because of the market gap. So yeah, I wouldn't, what's Saxo? Oh geez, like Saxo comes down, I guess only 87. So yeah, I could care less. To me, this is not valid, right? This is not valid. It's a market gap with a ghost feed on it. So this is honestly why I kind of liked Awanda. This is why I went to Awanda's feeds, not only because I trade for Awanda, but back before I did, this was just they went back and deleted a lot of the inconsistencies in it. So yeah. What are your thoughts on strong block? Yeah, I mean, it's bullish. I mean, I'm personally, for me, it's long gone. I mean, there's no reason for me to buy any more strong. I'm running one node and that's it. I make my strong off of that node, but it's no longer a viable investment for me. It's way overvalued for what I want to pay for a coin on it. VPR. Yeah, I do. I'll tell you what, I do like VPR, man. I'm pretty happy with my earnings already on VPR. I'm almost to the 50% mark of recouping my investment on it. And I've only had the thing for like 2 weeks. So anyway, NJ and now AJ, same price action, right? I mean, we can see on AJ, where there's a little bit of divergence, right? NJ made the high, right? You can see this break right here. NJ has already broken the high. AJ has not, right? So using NJ with that strength, we already know that we can see a reaccumulation here. So we pop this high right here. Where am I looking? Right there, right? That accumulation is where I'm going to be coming for. Now, understand that this green dot is what's respecting, right? This is going to be our leg. So I'm definitely going to be looking for those buys, and I do like that accumulation out of there. So if I looked at ACAD, I have looked at ACAD. Yes. Yep. Yeah. What about ACAD? I'm still looking for the sells. I think we're a couple of days from getting it. Price wise, where can you see it going right now? What do you mean, like for it to the downside or to the upside? I mean, so well, I mean, if she breaks this reaccumulation right here, then the next area that I would see her coming down to is right in here. So, and if it breaks this, because this is where I got in somewhere around like the $87, $86 mark. If it breaks that, I think you're going to see this really just collapse. So there's no reason for it to go any lower than that. But I mean, it's sitting in the area of reaccumulation right here. So this is where it should start to see strength, but I haven't seen anything out of anything that would welcome me saying, oh, let me get back into this. So like I said, I mean, I'm making on my one strong node, I'm making enough, to recoup the loss, because I mean, I definitely cashed out some profits once we hit the 1,000 mark, I mean, this thing went all the way up to like 1191, but yeah, there's just really no reason for me to get back into this. So, I mean, if you think just to all-time highs from right now to all-time highs, it's only 360% profit, right? And you can get way better R to R in some other projects. So for me, it's not a viable investment anymore. Do you trade alone or with a team? So like, I mean, it depends. Like, do I physically trade with people that like active trades? No, I can't. I honestly can't do it like that. I need to have total, concentration. I can't have like chit chat. I can't have, the time it takes to me to try to explain something. I'd miss the trade. So I definitely have a group of people that just like I'm going through right now, like while we're watching price action or something, what my expectation is, what gets me into the trade, how to, my trading partners, we actually do a like either a FaceTime or we'll do a Zoom call, kind of just talking over some of our expectations for trades and what we're going to be looking for, trades that we've gotten into, and then just second opinions like, hey, here's my chart. Give me your thoughts. What do you think? So, yeah, I can tell you this, starting out, it is good to be in a group, right? It builds confidence, builds experience. It builds you another set of eyes. Once you start getting a lot of experience in trades and understanding under your belt, it's still good to have, but you want to be able to be in an area or in a mindset of just complete concentration. And for me, when I'm trying to, especially when you're dealing on these like 5-second timeframes, there's no time for me to sit there and have a debate with somebody, over whether or not I should take this trade. And that's honestly like me and my trading partner, we used to do that. We're like, we'd spend 10 minutes arguing over, I don't know, I don't like this, or okay, I want to take this. When we finally came to an agreement, the trade's already like at a 1 to 50 and we missed it. So yeah. Awesome. Yeah, cool. You got it. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, and I think that's everything I was looking at. I mean, oil. Yeah. I mean, I was looking at oil, flipping oil, man. Is DR on the call? Where's he at? Bro, oil, man. I've been trying to catch oil for days now. And here's oil, just trying to play the reaccumulations. We just came in at the wrong time for me. And then I was looking here and boy, this thing just, no, this ain't coming back. But I told everybody this morning on the Zoom call, I said, if you hit buy market, just do a small lot. I guarantee you'll be in profits in a couple hours. And sure enough, it was there. When did this go up? Came up 58 pips already. Yeah. So yeah, that's my outlook. I mean, I'm looking to see if we can get a pullback. If we can get oil to come back at least down below 100 and start building an accumulation in here, I'll be looking to long those. Yeah, I mean, shoot, we have some massive room on oil to go. Like if you just look at the weekly, right? I'm pretty confident that we are going to take these highs right here. I'm pretty confident we're going to take these highs. So, and then, geez, to think, I don't even know what'll happen if we can get up here, but damn, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what'll happen up there. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything I'm looking at indices wise. I am looking for the shorts, but not from anywhere we're at. I was looking for shorts this morning under these redistros. So let's see, let's go. What was it this morning? Yeah, 1 minute. So I was looking at this right here and we just didn't get it. I wanted to see us come. You could see my alert was sitting right here, but I wanted us to get this accumulation to get back up into this. We just haven't. So I have a feeling, a strange suspicion that we're just going to chop sideways on this. Where am I going to sell from? I'm selling from up here, right? This is where I'm selling from. I'm not doing really much of anything in here unless it gives me some clear direction. And I mean, across the board, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking, you can see, do we sell from up here? That's what I want to see. And then same thing, lower time frame, right? You could see I was looking out of, I wanted to see us, I wanted to see what we were going to do out of this redistribution that we created. And we just never came back into it. So tomorrow, I mean, if we come back into it, we definitely have a little bit of bearish momentum. And I was kind of hoping that we were going to get a distro like here, right? Like you could see the start of the distribution. Here's your trading range. And we could still right? I mean, we could still do something like that and trade up into here. But I'm not playing this mess in here. I mean, that's all that is just complete mess. What makes you say oil won't come back? Because for it to come back, somebody's got to hit sell by market. And I don't think when we're looking at oil, I don't think you're going to get people trying to short sell it, right? People that aren't in buys on oil aren't going to come in and say, oh, let me sell oil. And I don't think I don't think the market movers are in a position yet to say, let me take some profits. I think, realistically, I think they are. And if you look at the last week and a half of price action, there's no mitigation. They are essentially the school bus or the train is pulling up, honking the horn. People are jumping on the buy wagon and they're just skyrocketing it. So they're pumping it up, and there's no, in my opinion, there's no reason for them to really have a manipulation to the downside. So and this whole Russian thing is really escalating that. Yeah. So that's pretty much everything I'm looking at. Crypto side, BTC. I am, 46K was the mark for me, right? I want to see, do we break the distribution, right? The distribution did nothing other than trade us back into 80% of our entire leg. And you can just see the market cycle, right? I mean, we have accumulation, reaccumulation, distro into, I guess now I can throw into an accumulation and a reaccumulation. Right. So we have our market cycle. So now this is the key. We break this high. I'm pretty confident in saying that, bullish momentum's on our side. And now this is the leg. This is the leg. This is the big one. This mark right up here, this 52, 680 is what I want to see us trade. If we can get above that, that's it. We're in a massive bull run. And I think that's going to be the catalyst, the start of it. So what do you mean? When should we be looking for manipulation? Like the time when you should? I mean, it all depends on what you're looking at. Oh, these silly cats. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm looking at. You know, we'll see how it plays out. Yeah. Anybody else looking at anything else? Any other questions? I am looking. What is bear with me. You got it, man. You got it. You believe that trading bot most people have been talking about now is the robot trading for you? Wait, you believe in the trading bot? I mean, whatever it is, what it is. It's another. You know, I'm looking at it as just another node. I mean, what's it done so far for me? Like I'll tell you right now, I'm not investing a lot of money into it, but yeah, I mean, it's sitting at 5.16%. So yeah, I can tell you this. I'm not, if I wake up tomorrow morning and it shows me 0 in my account, I'll just be like, yep, I figured. So I'm not going to risk any more than I'm willing to wake up tomorrow. Like, you know, for just like a crypto investment, right? I have a dollar amount that I set for crypto investments. And if it ends up being a rug pull, or it becomes, you know, just something that dies off into the existence, all right, it is what it is, you know, but it's still worth the investment. So, silver, brothers, I'm not touching metals. Yeah, I'm not touching metals. So for me, there's absolutely nothing to do with metals. So we're just chopping. This looks like a massive accumulation. So, and if you look at gold's already broken the high. So honestly, I think we're setting up for, which sucks, but I think we're setting up for a big reaccumulation, because I really wanted to buy some more silver down here. So, but it is what it is. And I'm just not, do I trade corn or cotton now? No, I used to, I mean, on the future side, I used to trade like soybeans and coffee and stuff, but not anymore. It's just not, it's not something I do anymore. But yeah, for especially what's going on overseas, I'm not touching metals. So you're going to see so much fluctuation in metals. I mean, just look on silver here. In the matter of 5 days, we've seen price travel 176 pips in both directions, and the same goes for gold. I mean, look at gold. So yeah, I'm not really dealing with it. What's my target for SPX to the downside? The higher time frame slingshot, which is going to be like, so on SPX, it is this right here. Yeah, like I want to see us get at minimum, where are we at? I want to see us at least get minimum, maybe like the 2,800 mark, like somewhere here. Eventually that's where we've got to go. So same thing like on U30, you know, U30, my first target's going to be right here. So like the 28,000 mark. I've been saying 28K since like August. So we'll see if it goes. Is XRP going to trial? No, I don't think so, man. There's so much talk on XRP going back and forth. I'll tell you this, whoever the heck they pissed off at the SEC is like, this is personal, you know? So you think gold can make a new high, all-time high? Yeah. I mean, we're bullish. We came into the slingshot. You know, I was just really hoping that we get a little more premium pricing or discount pricing. So did I see somewhere you had documents on the bot around regulations? Documents on the bot. So there, I'll tell you right now, the bot is not regulated, right? It is registered. So, you know, and I guess I'll do a follow-up thing tomorrow night. I'll drop a video on it. But that when you look at like the bot, you know, everything, and there is, so the broker that the bot uses, right? It's their own liquidity provider, this whatever IPC. They're not regulated. They're not a regulated broker. They're a registered broker, right? They're registered in Australia. They're registered in the US. They're registered, you know, so like, I mean, I can go pay $150 and be a registered broker, you know, that's the only thing. Like, I mean, don't think that like that bot thing that I posted, don't think it's like the greatest thing in the world. I mean, it just involves risk, right? I mean, like anything, it involves risk. So my advice is don't invest. If you're going to do it, don't invest anything that you're not prepared to wake up tomorrow and say, damn, all right, it's at zero. And I'm going to, like, my personal goal is I'm going to get my investment back as quick as I can. And then, just take earnings every month. I'll just pay myself out of it. So yeah, you got it, man. What did you place your limit on the previous lower high? Why did you place your limit order on the previous lower high of OddCAD? The previous lower high of OddCAD. Talking about this one here. Why did I? Because it's maintaining structure. Talking about this one right here. Yeah, it's maintaining my leg. This one right here. Yeah. What do you mean my thought process? It's the distribution, right? It's the distribution that causes this low. So I've got, if you go in there, there's a micro distro. I think it's off the 50% of the micro that I got in there. Yeah, if you just, I don't know if we can, what was this? Just, I don't think we can go lower time frame anymore. Maybe so. Yeah, just, I mean, if you go to the 5 minute, there's your distro. I mean, all I did was just measure out the UTAD. Yeah. Yeah, and actually, yeah. It's actually off the 80. So, but yeah, that's where I've got, because I mean, you've got a distro and then you've got a micro right in here. So that's where my limit order is. It's right off the 80. So, yep. Yeah, you got it. All right, cool. Well, listen, guys, if that's all she wrote, I will confluence of the 66 and 48 on an OddCAD. Yeah. You've got this entire leg is at 66 minute. Yeah. Yep. Awesome, guys. Listen, enjoy. I think I'm going to go have some little ice cream and jump in the hot tub. So thank you for everybody for hopping on, and I'll catch everybody later.